Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal Podcast on this 29th of November 2018. I'm your host, Real Deal Quinn. As we discuss the world of sports and pop culture, we are streaming live on YouTube and also Instagram. So, hello to my Instagram audience out there as we near December and just lost Instagram as we near December here and certainly a lot to talk about uh, on this um, on this November. You have the NFL tonight. You will have Cowboys hosting New Orleans. I actually think that that the Cowboys have a chance. I think this game will be competitive. I think as far as the matchup goes, that the Cowboys play good defense. Cowboys play good defense. So they have pretty good defense. They have of course, an excellent offensive line, and then one of the best running backs in the league. So I know the line is 7.5, which is a big line for a road team. But the Saints have just been off the charts, 10 straight, hottest team in the league. But I think the Cowboys can do some things against the Saints that can keep that game close. I think the most important number, besides the turnover number in this game, will be time of possession. That will be by far and away, the most important, number in in this game. The Dallas has to control the time of possession in order to have any chance at winning, at being competitive, if they were or winning this game. But so we'll see what happens with that. But we're going to begin with Dallas's NFC East rival, who this week continue to just make asses of themselves, and there's something that's been going on for the better part of something that's been going on for the better part of 25 years or 27 years, that the Washington football team continuously finds a way to make jackasses of themselves with the latest. Of course, the latest for them is they claim Reuben Foster off waivers. Reuben Foster, of course, was released by the San Francisco 49ers. Reuben Foster has been arrested on domestic violence charges twice. Reuben Foster, of course, played for Alabama, was a great player, was the 31st pick in the 2017 draft, and really should have been a top 10 pick if it wasn't for the off the field baggage, the failed drug test, and the shoulder, the rotator cuff injury that he suffered as well. So this guy, we know, has a lot of talent. We know that coming from a school like Alabama, we know what he can do from that standpoint. But the problem with Reuben Foster is the fact that Reuben Foster, the problem is, bringing that type of guy into your locker room and bringing that type of guy, on a team, it's a move out of desperation. Washington's struggling right now. That they want to win a division. They're still in the top of the division lead. The defense has struggled mightily the last couple of games. So it is clearly a move of desperation without question. But here's the thing about the move. So Washington won't be the first NFL team to make a move based off talent versus reputation, or talent versus personal demons. And they won't be the first, won't be the last. But here's the thing: just call it the way it is. If you're Washington, you come out and say, "Hey, we know this guy has issues, right? We know we know this, we understand this, but he can help. We feel like he can help us win. If he's cleared by the NFL, we feel like he can help us win football games. We feel like he can be a Pro Bowl caliber player. We'll let the process play out, and if he's cleared, he'll be on the team. Don't sit up here and try to make it seem like, and Jay Gruden, well, he's got to go through the law, he's got to go through the NFL, he's got to go through this, through that. Like, the bottom line is, Reuben Foster will be on the field as soon as the NFL clears him, if and when the NFL clears him to play. Okay. And the idea that Washington as a team, as an organization, was on board in terms of making this move. First of all, there's only one. There's two guys that have that are the Washington brain trust when it comes to making moves like this. You have Bruce Allen, and to a lesser extent, Daniel Snyder. Now, Bruce Allen, Daniel Snyder, I say to a lesser extent because Snyder's kind of tried to somewhat keep out of direct in terms of the perception of him making direct moves. He's still the owner. He still has all the power. But Bruce Allen is the guy. Bruce Allen is the guy that's pulling the strings here. And I don't know what did I miss, but Bruce Allen is treated like he's Vito Corleone. Like Bruce Allen is treated like like he's won 10 championships. He's treated like Bill Belichick or Bill Polian, right? So at this point, I don't care if his father was George Allen. His father is George Allen. It doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. It's 2018. Okay. So this organization, you get a guy who was cut on the second year of his rookie contract and was not a bust. Reuben Foster, by no stretch of the imagination, was a bust. Reuben Foster was cut because the guy has been charged with domestic violence accusations twice. Okay. And he has some major issues off the field. You know how hard it is for an NFL team to get rid of a first round pick within 2 years, unless it's an injury related, or unless he's just even if he's a flat out bust, they'll more than likely let the contract play out. Especially a guy with talent. Doug Williams comes out, goes on the local radio station, and basically, puts his foot in his mouth. Doug, which is it? Are you condoning domestic violence, or are you bringing up the fact that you have six daughters? You say you had 6 daughters. You have 6 daughters, and you don't condone domestic violence, but you are on board with this signing. And then to call Reuben Foster's allegations or his problems small potatoes. That's what Doug Williams said. That's what it was his exact words: small potatoes. And Doug Williams has no power with Washington. Doug Williams is the guy who had a historic day at the Super Bowl, okay, and was a pioneer as far as being the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, which I will never forget because I watched the game, and that's the year and the day I became a Washington fan. Okay, so it was a historic day in the history of the NFL, no question about it. But Doug's been living off that forever. And Doug Williams if you think Doug Williams has any power with the Washington football team, you don't have a clue whatsoever. Doug Williams is the mouthpiece for Daniel Snyder and for Bruce Allen. He's taking the hit. He's taking these hits with having to answer these questions. You don't see Bruce is not answering questions, okay, about this. Washington deals in self-deception because they put themselves on this pedestal as if they are the New England Patriots or the Green Bay Packers or the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are not on that level. They are not, their history to me at this point, I could care less about those 3 Super Bowl trophies. It's a lot of cobwebs. There's a lot of dust on those trophies. So again, if you think Bruce Allen, if you think that this was a 4-way decision, that this decision was made by 4 different parties in the Washington Redskins hierarchy, again, you just don't have a clue. This was Bruce Allen all day, every day with this decision. And it's the reason why this franchise continues to embarrass himself time after time after time. It's the reason why their stadiums their home games are half filled. Why the season ticket list? Why there's really not no line no list as far as season tickets. Why, like you can get, if you want season tickets to a Washington football team, to a game, you can get them. Trust me, there are seats available. There are season tickets available. That waiting list does not exist. There is no waiting list. It is a minimum wait to get those tickets. So again, they live in a world of fantasy, self-deception, and it will continue to be 500 to mediocre as long as Dan Snyder's the owner and Bruce Allen's the president. Now again, call it what it is. We feel like this dude can help us win football games. We understand the issues that he's coming in with. We get it. We're going to do our due diligence to make sure that he represents our organization, as best as he could, or to make sure that we cross our T's, dot our I's. Just say all the things that need to be said, but they can't even get that right. They can't even get that right. So again, I fully expect Reuben Foster, if he's cleared by the NFL, to be on the field. If he's cleared by the NFL, he will be in uniform and he will be on the field. No question about it. It's just no two ways about it. Big time NBA game tonight. You have a possible finals preview right now. And to be honest with you, I think this will be, I think as of right now, again, November 29th, lot can change between now and April. But as of right now, these are the two best teams in basketball, Golden State and Toronto. Toronto has the best record in basketball. We know that Golden State is the best team in basketball, despite the soap opera that's been going on and some of the injuries that have been going on with that franchise. I'm not going to fall for the Golden State drama and for all this nonsense this year. I didn't fall for it last year. I'm not going to fall for it. Definitely not going to fall for it this year. Golden State wants to paint this picture as if, what'll happen is they'll win the championship and then they'll say, we fought through the adversity. We were down in November. Might have been questioning, guys might have been questioning things, and we were in a bad place, but our character and So Golden State, I'm not buying it whatsoever. That team is still the best team by far in basketball. If they are remotely healthy, which is always an if in the NBA. We've seen a number of injuries curtail championship runs. But if assuming that they're healthy, they will be the 2019 NBA champions. It's just that simple. As far as the overall, so interesting game with Toronto. Durant's playing great these last couple of games with Kim out to 49.13 rebound game against Orlando. And they needed every single one of those points to take out Orlando. You have Kawhi Leonard, who will play tonight. I'm assuming he's going to play tonight. Even it seems like he sits out every other game. But anyway, he's playing when he's been on the floor. He's playing great. That matchup, watching those two go at it. A lot of people think that the second and third, the second and fourth, second and third, or second and fourth best players on the planet right now. Again, a fascinating matchup just to watch with those two teams. Toronto has been great this year. So we'll see what happens. The game's at Toronto. Steph Curry is expected to return early next week. They're talking about who is the MVP of the league, and my initial thought was, without question, was the Greek Freak. Then I thought again. I was like, you know what? That's not the case. Steph Curry is the MVP of the league. Like Steph Curry on the floor with Golden State, they're unbeatable. They are a historic team. Steph Curry out of the lineup, they are just okay. I mean, they're very good, just very good. They're very good. I shouldn't say just okay. They're not average, but they're just very good. Now, I understand Draymond Green's missed some games, so I get that. But Steph Curry is the engine that makes that that makes the Golden State go is without question. Everything, that offense, that style of play is centered around him. And that will be one of the reasons why, Kevin Durant probably won't be on the team next year. And again, so these Laker rumors, again, I'm not the one, people say, Golden State fans and people around me, maybe, close to me, will say that I'm the one that I'm just, making these rumors. I hear, this is stuff that I hear through, research and through some of the, some various sources, not blogs, but this stuff keeps surfacing about, Durant going to play with LeBron. And Golden State and Golden State is already getting ready for Kevin Durant's exit. They're already getting prepared. They will not be caught off guard by any stretch of the imagination if if and when Kevin Durant leaves. I still think there's a possibility that Kevin Durant could sign another 2+1 deal, where he opts out, after next year and becomes a free agent again. He's still young enough at 30, and he's still going to get, wherever he goes, he's going to get the supermax contract. So I think I don't foresee Kevin Durant signing a long-term deal to stay with Golden State. I don't foresee that. But does he the question is where, which spot makes the most sense for him in terms of checking off championship, his team, and a strong front office, strong organization. The Lakers check off a strong organization, championship with him and LeBron, but it wouldn't be considered his team. Okay. The Knicks, his team. Porzingis could be a top player if healthy. They have some nice other pieces. Terrible organization. So again, Clippers now. Listen, everybody loves the Clippers now. Again, Doc Rivers has done a very good job with that team. We can't take anything away from him, but I don't know, man. I just want to see the first. I want to see the first big time free agent spurn the Lakers for the Clippers. I don't think I'll believe. There already been, there have been reports and rumors about that Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to play with LeBron, doesn't want to go to the Lakers, and if he does leave, assuming that he leaves, we'll go play with the Clippers. Again, I will believe it when I see it. I'll believe when I see it. I look at the Lakers in the same vein as I look at the New York Mets, as I look at the New York Jets. They are the epitome of the little brother. Okay. They are. Stepchild, little brother, however you want to, orphan, whatever you want to call it. That's what the Clippers are. So this is a nice story this year. They play hard every night, and they're fun to watch. They're fun. You can even root for this team. Under that Chris Paul, Blake Griffin team was not. This was impossible to root for with those the personalities, and everything was just a lot harder than probably it should have been with the amount of talent that they had. So that this team again plays hard. A bunch of feisty guys, a bunch of guys who are still trying to prove something, a bunch of guys who enjoy playing with each other, and play a brand of basketball that is appealing to watch. As far as Boston goes on, Boston coming into the season, I didn't think Boston having too many players was going to be an issue. I thought there would be some chemistry issues early on, trying to reincorporate Kyrie and Hayward, coexisting with the emergence of Tatum and Brown, but it's been a borderline disaster with Boston. Boston, I think 21 games is enough to say that this team currently constructed cannot get to the NBA Finals. Like, they absolutely need to make a trade now. For who? Was Bradley Beal, Anthony Davis, possibly, I don't know, but this team can't get to the finals. Like, this team is just, there's no, there's no hierarchy with this team. This team, every NBA champion, you don't win championships with ensemble casts for the most part. Now, there's been one team that has done that over the past in my lifetime, and that was the 2004 Detroit Pistons. Keep in mind that they were facing a train wreck with the Los Angeles Lakers, and that those guys were had more talent than what people realize. Chauncey Billups will be a borderline Hall of Famer. Rasheed Wallace has had Hall of Fame talent. Richard Hamilton was a borderline All-Star. Tayshaun Prince was one of the best defensive players in the league, along with Ben Wallace. They had a deep bench. They just had, in essence, the perfect team as far as chemistry. And of course, Hall of Fame coach, love or hate him, Larry Brown. And it was the perfect storm of events that allowed them to beat the living daylights out of the Lakers in that series. In essence, in 2004, in essence, was it's like a 5-game sweep. So I think Boston has to make a trade. They have to move. Jaylen Brown's probably going to be. Tatum is basically untouchable. So it would be Jaylen Brown. I don't think Hayward right now has any real value. Still coming off the injury, has a big time contract. We'll see how he progresses throughout the course of the year. It hasn't worked out so far as of yet, but it's still early in the season for him. Kyrie needs to be that guy for them. Like Kyrie needs to be 25 to 30 every night. They should play off Kyrie. Tatum could be that second, all-star next to Kyrie, and then everybody else, everybody else should be a specialist after that. The problem is you got about 7 to 8 guys who think that they are, all-star caliber. There has to be a pecking order in the NBA. It just has to be especially on championship teams, especially in 2018. It has to be. So to me, that is Boston's biggest problem. And again, this team, as currently constructed, will not make the NBA finals as currently constructed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. As far as the Lakers are concerned, I don't. I'm almost immune to these little circus side stories. LeBron ignoring Luke Walton and his play calls. I'm like, LeBron hasn't been coached since high school. I mean, let's be honest. LeBron, outside of Spoelstra, who I think Spoelstra was really calling shots down there coaching wise. That's why I think LeBron wanted him out that first year. And Pat Riley was like, it's not going to happen. Outside of that, Mike Brown, Ty Lue, David Blatt, Paul Silas, whoever LeBron's coach has been working for LeBron. In essence, been working for LeBron. I mean, there's no two ways about it. LeBron does, and most players of that ilk, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, those guys, they do what they want on the court. In essence, they do what they want. I mean, there's play calls at what play call triangle offense, triangle. Michael Jordan. Now he played within a system, but the bottom line is when it all comes down to it, if Kobe wants to go left, elbow ISO, he's going to do elbow. He's going to go to the elbow and isolate and do what he does. So I don't get caught up in some of the Laker nonsense. Listen, Lakers are 11-9 right now. They lost back-to-back games. We're embarrassed, with Denver, which could happen to anybody, in Denver on their home court. But the bottom line is the defense has improved. I'm still wondering about the Kuzma, Brandon Ingram dynamic. Still wondering about if those two can play together in the same lineup. And again, to me, if you're the Lakers and you do this without hesitation, I'm getting the Wizards on the phone and try to attempt to trade for Bradley Beal. I think that's an absolute no-brainer if you're the Lakers. He's a borderline all-star. He is a a legit top 2 guard in this league. He's still young. He still has for his skill sets, for his ability, he still has, a good contract. So that to me would be a absolute no-brainer. No-brainer. As you see here, despite what happened last night, I'm still repping. Give all the credit in the world to Michigan. They just completely manhandled North Carolina defensively, all around 3-point shooting, execution. But that wasn't even, that's neither here nor there in terms of what transpired in the post-game press conference with Roy Williams. And I love Roy Williams. Roy Williams, all-time great coach, has, won more championships than Dean Smith. And he will never say it, but I think, frankly, he's a better coach than Dean Smith. But Roy really was in his feelings last night. I mean, Roy was on some, this is the worst coaching job I've done in 31 years. We suck. We stink. I have nothing positive for you. Roy was hot. I mean, Roy, this wasn't Roy. You would have thought that they were coming off in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. Roy was livid, to say the least. Was, of course, complimentary of Michigan and Beeline. And Beeline is a phenomenal coach. The Mr. Beeline is that guy is a top coach. He coach circles around John Calipari. Coach circles. Beeline is a top coach. But getting back to Roy Williams, Roy was hot. I mean, Roy could have, ate nails last night. Calm down, Roy. Guys, it's November. It's November, sir. You're in the midst of one of the toughest stretches that any team has in the country. They'll have Gonzaga, they'll have Kentucky, and that's even before conference play. They're gonna have the toughest schedule in college basketball this year, amongst the top 2 or 3. But listen, anybody can go to Michigan and get smacked. Michigan is a Final Four caliber team. They are legit. They can defend like crazy. They had North Carolina in a vice with their half court defense. North Carolina couldn't even run their offense. Couldn't even run their offense at all. So, a great win for Michigan, not a good win, a great win for Michigan. They will be without question, a Final Four caliber team, a team that could possibly even win the national championship. They're that good. So again, you have a big weekend of football with the college and with in particular college beginning tomorrow night with the Pac-12 championship with Washington and let me get Washington and Utah. SEC championship, which could be a national championship. And matter of fact, of course, it was a national championship last year with Georgia and Alabama. Georgia is one of the few teams that can physically go toe-to-toe with Alabama. They are one of the absolute few teams that can. That will be a classic game. The last 2 times they've played in big-time games, last year's national championship, the 2012 SEC championship, have been both for classic games and will come down to the last 2-3 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's not. I know Alabama has manhandled everybody this year. They've just ran through everybody. But I don't see that happening with Georgia. Georgia has too much talent. They're well coached, Kirby Smart. And that team is loaded with just like Alabama, with a lot of NFL talent. So I expect that to be a classic. I think Oklahoma will have its way with Texas. I don't know how much expectations I have on that game. I think Ohio State will have their way with Northwestern. And ultimately, again, Notre Dame is in. Clemson will be in. If Georgia wins, that's going to mess up that is going to kind of upset the apple cart if you're Ohio State or Oklahoma, because I'm telling you right now, if Georgia wins, you'll have Alabama will be in as well. So you'll have Clemson, Notre Dame, Georgia, and Alabama. Those will be your 4 if Georgia wins. Alabama wins, then it should be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who, because Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama. It'll be interesting to see who exactly that 14 will be, whether or not they will go with either Ohio State or Oklahoma. I think more than likely, I think that they will lean towards Ohio State. I really do. I think the Big 12 pedigree in these playoff games messes up, really hurts Oklahoma. The Big 12 since the college football playoff system started in 2014. Yeah, that was the first year, 2014. Um, Big 12 hasn't won any of these playoff games. Hasn't won one playoff game. Okay, and I think whether or not the committee will admit to it, I think that plays a factor will play a factor in determining if it comes down to Ohio State or Oklahoma. I really do. And you think of Ohio State's pedigree. Ohio State's has won a national championship, beaten Alabama. They have won big games. They have Oklahoma doesn't win big games. I mean, let's be honest. Oklahoma's been embarrassed in some of these bowl games. Stoops had one championship in 18 years at Oklahoma. He got there 99, 2000. I want to say 99. He was there 99 through 2016, 2017, 2016. So he was there about 18, 19 years. He won one title. He was like the Bobby Cox of college football. And Oklahoma gets the best players year in year out. They can recruit they have a number of pros coming out of Oklahoma. So it's not, that talent level is high as it always is. So it'll come down again. Should be a great weekend with the college football. Again, that Alabama Georgia game has a chance to absolutely be a classic. Now, as far as I want to get to touch on this before I let you go. In terms of the baseball, again, winter meetings are coming up soon. Machado, Harper, that stuff is going to start to heat up. But the one move that can definitely could shift the landscape if the Giants, and they should, decide to trade Madison Bumgarner, is, to my understanding, that they are fielding calls for a possible trade. Bumgarner has one of the best contracts in all of baseball. I mean, 1 year left at $12 million for that guy is peanuts. Is beyond a bargain. Any idea that this guy is still not a top pitcher and you're just not paying attention, you put him with a team that can score some runs, he'll win 20 games next year. I mean, if he's healthy, he will win 20 games. Now, you want to question his health? But when he's healthy, he's a horse. The guy goes 200 innings easily. Does it like it's nothing when healthy. So I think the Giants absolutely should trade for him. Now is the perfect time. Got 3 championships out of him. You can ask for anything in terms of moving him. You can ask for anything. Like, to me, you trade him, you're getting back a boatload of prospects. And I'm talking about I want teams' best prospects, not these middle of the pack. No, you're giving me guys who you feel like if they stay in your organization can be all-stars, possible all-stars. Okay. I'm not accepting anything less for that guy. A frontline, top-notch pitcher who is one of the great postseason pitchers of all time. I'm not accepting anything less than the best of the best from another team's farm system. But the Giants have to trade him. You can't sit up here as, the more and more they wait, the less and less his value goes. Right now, I feel like you can get 100 cents on the dollar for him. You wait till the season start, it becomes, 75 to 80 cents on the dollar. Sylvester Stallone came out with a Instagram post saying that he he could be done as far as with the Rocky movies, with the Creed movies, and with the Rocky. playing Rocky with the Creed movies moving forward. I don't necessarily believe that. I think if you toss enough money at Stallone, and despite how much money he does have, I think, there's always ways around this. Um, he still has the, there's still some storyline for him. I mean, he could train Creed, he could train Michael B. Jordan's character forever. I mean, I do listen. If they're gonna get rid of him, again, nothing's been official, but he has to have an on-screen death. Don't do this. Now, Talia, Adrian was a big character, but she wasn't. Adrian wasn't. I could deal with Adrian not dying on screen. I didn't think, because I didn't. First of all, I didn't think that they should make after Rocky 5. I didn't think they should even come out with another Rocky. And the Rocky Balboa actually caught people off guard in terms of how good it was. It actually was pretty good. But you want to kill off Rocky, he has to die on the screen. He can't have off-screen death. That's all there is to it. So I think that he has at least one more where he dies in the movie. Again, a lot of directions you can go with the cancer. He can't fight again. That just absolutely cannot happen. But he has to die on the screen. If that is going to happen, they might just listen. They might be. I don't. Again, Rocky, Creed are like peanut butter and jelly. I don't. There's no separation to me because you just can't separate them. So I can't see them. It has to be a major event if Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky character, will be no more in terms of moving forward with the Creed franchise. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Real Deal Podcast. You will hear from me over the weekend, maybe Sunday, maybe early next week, maybe Monday. Who knows? Stay tuned. As always, this is the Real Deal Podcast, telling it like it is with no apologies. Thanks for listening. I'm out.